Hello and welcome to Tea with Tolkien, an online community for the Hobbit at heart. This video is a part of our Silmarillion guide series, which offers a quick and easy-to-understand introduction to the events, characters, and world of the Silmarillion. This guide is also available as a free ebook, which can be downloaded at teawithtolkien.com/shop. Chapter 3. Of the Coming of the Elves and the Captivity of Melkor. Now in this time Middle-earth lay in a twilight, but Melkor did not sleep. Instead, he built up his strength in the north, gathering evil creatures to himself, such as Balrogs. Sauron was in charge of Melkor's stronghold, called Angband. It is also in this time that Varda, also called Elbereth, set the great stars in the sky. The Coming of the Elves. Finally, it was time for the elves to awaken beneath Varda's stars. They named themselves the Quendi. Orome was the first of the Valar to find the elves, but they feared him because Melkor had gotten to them first and taught them to fear. Orome named the elves the Eldar, but this name is only used for the elves who later followed him. Melkor made the orcs by capturing elves and tormenting them, corrupting them into his service. The Captivity of Melkor. Finally, the Valar made war against Morgoth on behalf of the elves. In this time, Tolkos wrestled with Melkor and won, and Melkor was taken into captivity. Sauron was not found at this time, so he remained free. Melkor was sentenced to prison for 3 ages before he could plead for pardon. The Summons of the Valar. The Valar then summoned the Quendi to come to Valinor, but only some were willing to come. In order to earn their trust, Orome brought ambassadors to Valinor. These were Ingwe, Finwë, and Elwë. These ambassadors returned to Middle-earth and urged their kindred to answer the summons and remove to the west. Some agreed and others did not. The Eldar are the elves who agreed to leave. The Avari are the elves who refused the summons and remained in Middle-earth. Thus began the great march of the Eldar to Aman. Those who arrived in Aman are called the Calaquendi. Those who either remained at first or left the march along the way are called the Moriquendi. This table is also included in my free Silmarillion Reader's Guide and can be downloaded at teawithtolkien.com. So here we have a chart where all of the elves are referred to as the Quendi, but then it is split down the middle between the Calaquendi, the elves of the light who came to Aman in the days of the 2 trees. So the Calaquendi are the elves who have seen the light of Valinor. The Moriquendi, on the other hand, are the elves of darkness who never saw the light of the 2 trees. Let's discuss the Calaquendi first. In the table we see the Eldar. These are the elves who accepted the summons and began the journey to Aman. Some of the Eldar made it all the way, while others did not, and the ones who did not are called the Umanyar. These are the Eldar who began the journey, but ended up staying in Middle-earth for one reason or another. Among the Eldar who did make it all the way to Valinor, we have the Vanyar, the Noldor, and the Teleri. Now, some of the Teleri did not make it all the way to Valinor, as we'll discuss kind of moving along through the book. These are called the Sindar, or the Grey Elves, who stayed in Beleriand. Now, going off from there, the Nandor are the elves who left the march of the Teleri east of the Misty Mountains. And then some of the Nandor entered Beleriand and were called the Laiquendi, the green elves of Osiriand. So here we have many different places where the march breaks apart along the way, and so we get all of these different types of elves. Over on the right-hand corner of the chart, we also have the Avari, who are the unwilling, and these are the elves who outright refused the summons entirely, whereas all the other elves that we can see on the table accepted it and either finished the journey completely or made it partially. And most of the stories of the Silmarillion revolve around the Noldor. So to recap, we have the Quendi, all of the elves, the Calaquendi, elves of the light who came to Aman in the days of the two trees. So these are the elves who have seen the light of Valinor. The Moriquendi, the elves of darkness who never saw the light of Valinor. Then we have the Eldar, the Vanyar, the Noldor, and the Teleri. The Avari, the unwilling who refused the summons, and the Umanyar, who accepted the summons but didn't quite make it all the way there. And then within that group, there are the Sindar, the Nandor, and the Lyquendi. In our next video, we will discuss Chapter 4 of Thingol and Melian.